Me when I die in a roguelite the first time I play it. No game should ever have meta progression ever. It's emblematic of bad game design. Gollum? I am your Gollum. You listen to me. You're just a precious, 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 precious. Is it true that the Gollum video game has a Meghan Trainor song in the end credits that she made just for the game? The concept of the Gollum video game is quite funny. I mean, it's like, I feel bad. People are like cooking Daedalic. They're just, you know, normal men. They're just innocent men. They deserve it? I mean, all they did was make like a bad game. If your ass buys like a game that has a 36 on Metacritic in 2023, your ass kind of deserves it, honestly. It's like eating poison and being like, somebody should have told me, and then like there's a big skull on the bottle. Like, you can make fun of it, but when people are like, this is everything wrong with modern games, I'm like, brother, I know you're like 11 years old, but there were shit games like, you know, before you were born, I'm telling you. But it is funny, like the concept of that game just existing is kind of hilarious. Like, who wanted like a Gollum game? Never really watched like Lord of the Rings and been like, man, I'd love to see what that guy's got, what that guy's got going on. Kid named Gollum. It's crazy that the game looks like crap, but like it must be so much work to make it look like the right kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like the laziest game you could possibly make now, Don't Shoot the Messenger, probably has an aesthetic somewhat similar to if it's 2D, like Papa's Freezeria, or if it's 3D, like all those Unity like asset flips where it's just like a dude with a gun in a really, really bright silver corridor. You know what? You know what I'm realizing? It doesn't look like shit. It looks like a masterpiece that came out in 1996. I think I'm kind of over graphics. What do you mean by that? Well, I just like... I'm not completely over graphics, because whenever someone tells me to play a roguelite, and then I look at the roguelite and it's literally ASCII, I'm like, I just can't do it, I'm sorry. That's where I draw my line, I guess. But from basically, like, anything that's actually graphics and not just text on the screen, up to, like, the most photorealistic game ever made, they look the same to me. Maybe that's an insane statement. But I don't know if it's an age thing or it's just a personal thing. I never really liked to I never really prioritized reading the books with a lot of pictures as a kid either. I was like, if I wanted to look at pictures, I mean, the TV is undefeated, right? It can feed you like 23 pictures a second or something like that. The games that look the best, I mean, like Halls of Torment. As far as I'm concerned, it looks amazing for what it's going for. Wild Frost, amazing art direction. So I always laughed, like, people would be like, I watched you play 800 episodes of Slay the Spire, but I just can't get over how ugly it is. And I'm like, brother, what are you talking about? It's not ugly. Your brain is looking at it, and then it's converting what it's seeing to, like, fucking organic ones and zeros, and then you're clicking on a card with a sword on it, or you're clicking on a card with a shield on it. So the whole game is just shield or sword. I don't think Slay the Spire is ugly. It's like saying, you know, I can't think of a good example, because I'm making it up as I go. You did say Brotato looked like shit. I say a lot of things I agree with. Austin, it is shit. It's like saying a calculator's graphics are shit. The real analogy crafter has logged on. Thank you. Like, some games it matters, some games it doesn't matter. Like, I feel... That's my opinion. Like, I feel if I was playing, like, a Telltale game, the art direction matters a lot. If you're playing... I mean, Darkest Dungeon 2 is a great example. I think that game looks great. But genuinely, people were like, there's a brain behind the locks that you're fighting on the boss. And I was like, I didn't even fucking see it, dude. Because my ass was so focused on, what should I do? Do I blight? Do I do blight? Do I need damage over time? If I do this, like, they did say, you know, like, that game's all about the mechanics. Dungeon too dark? Man's not hot? The brain is there before the locks show up? I'll take your word for it. My ass is hard stuck looking at, like, this part of the screen. From here to about here. I don't think Darkest Dungeon 2 is ass. I think it's just too hard for me at this stage of my life. It's like the same thing, like, you know, I'm sure the MCATs are good at what they're designed to do. My ass is not just gonna walk up and be like, hey, I'm gonna, like, solo the MCATs. It takes practice. It takes a different kind of individual. Hang on, it's loading. Ooh. I love when a song does this. Ooh. When you and your friends have to save the world from the apocalypse by gathering 17 different types of materia, but then also like, oh, it's disc 2, we gotta go to the beach for a minute. Hey, Cloud, all this saving the world stuff has really taken it out of me. It's so nice to just have a relaxing day at the beach. What kind of soda can I get you? Ah, you're so funny, Cloud. I'll be back with a Nibelheim shooter.